said slow down, they said fall back, but the doubts hit the tank and it's all high octane gas. Let's go, yeah, we run it up clean. Funny thing about the hate is it fuels the machine. Let's go, all bark, no bite, no teeth, while they're stuck in the comments we're 10 steps past believe. Eyes locked, no breaks, no pause. Every shot they take just reminds us who we are. We don't beg, we don't fold. If they're watching this mad, yeah, the plan's still gold. So talk it out, type it slow. Every hater in the crowd just helps the engine go. No fade out, no laying low. Fueled by the hate, still winning though, yeah. Yeah. Roll it back, run it up, save energy, let's go. Let's go.
Hey everybody, happy Saturday because we didn't get to cover the shit show on Friday because we had the shit show that was Tyler Robinson. Flash fan joined me for that shit show, and for this shit show, we have my friend Spawn. How are you today?
Sorry. I've only now just been able to stop laughing. Hi, hello, and happy British Armed Forces Day to all the British vets out there, from another vet to you, vet to the vet. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So these documents, the ones we're going to cover today, most people have already seen them. However, I have thoughts. And you know what? I can't just let my thoughts just permeate in other chats. I have to let y'all know what my thoughts are because sweet baby dumpster Jesus. Seriously, I don't know who needs to hear this. Y'all, the court docket is not your personal diary or group chat. Speaking of group chats, or place to process every passing thought or whine and cry like you're a 16-year-old girl who got her first period. Yet somehow this week, peppering the court with papers and then bitching that you couldn't file those papers electronically has become the new, "Mommy, my butt hurts." And here's the funny part, I guess you could say, for all the labels, quote unquote, being thrown around: bully, victim, harasser, stalker, whatever the internet's favorite buzzword is this week.
I got to stop you right there. I don't know if it's me or I've rubbed off on a lot of people, but a lot of people from the United States of the Americanese, they've sort of caught on with the little terminology I use, like the cock womble, wank stain, and someone actually put a post up with cock juggler. I think that is freaking awesome.
I saw that post. But here's the thing. Whatever the internet's favorite buzzword is this week, the court doesn't give two flying Fs what your labels are and how you want to identify yourself as.
Mm-hmm. And also some people forgot that they won the first prize in the Hunger Games, but obviously, they didn't get the memo.
Well, I feel like I could go Hunger Games on some people right now.
I know.
Between the internet and 3D world, your girl has hit her limit for people.
Hey, now you people know why I'm in the basement.
That's why you're here, is to keep my attitude in check today.
Yep. Hi, Papa Squid. Yep.
Because I'm just like, I hit my people limit.
Yeah, when you hit the people limit, bring the army in.
I closed the door and I locked it.
Oh,
because
crap.
I just don't want to people. So if I ignore a chat today, I woke up with damn near feeling like I had a bloody nose this morning because some little diva who I call a daughter decided to all out fucking try to wage war on my face before I was even out of bed this morning. That's how I started my day, and things have just gotten so much fucking better since then.
Hi ho. And by the way, just for the record, before we actually came on live on the platform, she got the speech from me. She got the freaking speech.
And no, Dad, it's not just you. There's a lot. And it's just like, so in order for me not to get a cease and desist from half the fucking internet today who hears this, I have somebody here to keep my attitude in check. The
Yep.
person who will tell me to shut the fuck up when I get too out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
However, everything we are discussing today, just for you wannabe cease and desist lovers out there, everything comes from publicly available documents. Pacer, which I did pay for myself. This is like $15 in documents. So if you do want to send that Starbucks money, that Baby Squid Banana Fund, Strawberry Fund, Nutella Fund, or help Heather keep her fucking sanity, I need a drink fund. And I haven't had a drink in 6 months. No, wait. 3. I haven't had a drink in about 3 months. If you want to help Heather keep her fucking sanity, you will buy her a damn bottle of wine today. Just saying. I understand why people go to drink, because I am in that mood today. However, everything they're talking about today comes from publicly available documents. I did not get them from anybody except for the federal government's website.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's publicly available, and this is my fucking First Amendment right to give you my opinion, and you don't have to like it. So if
Okay.
you like it, kindly sit on this, rotate yourself around.
Okay. Okay. Stop for a second. Just take a brief. Ladies and gentlemen, Ewoks and Wookiees, members of the jury, Your Honor, and to all the aliens, this is a public announcement. The content for the purposes this content is for the purposes of discussion, commentary, and criticism of information that is already publicly available. All opinions expressed are our own. Our analysis relies on public records and open source material. This commentary is protected under fair use principles regarding critique of public content. Thank you for your attention. Please continue.
Also, before we open these documents, because a lot of y'all have seen this, but we do also have the Helm MLS attorney's fees document. We are going to go through that as well. Grab your emotional pitchforks, hit that like button, or don't, please.
Can I hit it and then unhit it? Hit it and unhit it. Unhit it.
If you do hit it, make it an odd number. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. You know.
No, I am
Grab
going.
your Mountain Dew or your Fanta in this case.
You fucking went there. That's fucking fighting talk.
Let's wade into these mountains of documents while trying to keep our sanity. And remember that some people collect baseball cards, other people collect docket entries. Let's get into this shit.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support Squid Pro Quo Pain and Ass regards to documents, feel free to tip her a glass of water or a bucket of beer.
Or a Celsius.
Or one of them, Celsius, yeah.
Tammy, good to see you. Gail, good to see you. Let's go through the chat real quick. Gail, thanks for being a member for 20 months. Holy freak. I'm almost 2 years old. You're a toddler. You're a toddler.
Oh, Dragon,
David,
I like that. I really would not want some slimy a-hole rotating on my international greeting sign.
Oh, Hale, good to see you as always. Thanks for being my super mod. Dad's in chat. Mom's in chat. Renee, good to see you.
Mr.
I saw
Squid.
Round Man in chat. I think Jeffrey, Cynthia, and I'm sorry if I miss anybody. Nanny, Gareth, Lurkin, Meowith, Lurk Away, Andrew Myers. Cynthia, thanks for sending the jewels.
Hi, Cynthia.
Do
you want to hear something really scary before
Cynthia,
you go?
And I hope you have an okay day at your infusion. I know that those are never enjoyable.
Oof. Do you want to hear something really scary? To make everyone a little bit happier. I know that in America, you guys living in luxury with ACs and all that shit.
I'm in
a
a
friend of
sweatshirt.
mine,
It's 90
sorry,
degrees outside.
my beautiful queen just told me that at one point in Germany, the temperature was 41 point, what was it? 41.3 degrees today.
No thanks. I will pass. I will definitely pass. And Faith says it all. Thanks for becoming a new member of Tentacle Nation. I appreciate. Yes, and this we've had a problem with people wanting to mention certain things in chat. Please don't. My mods are a little hangry. I did not give them their daily Snickers bar today, and they are
Yeah,
ready
she didn't
to
let me out
ban
either.
you if you try to start shit.
She didn't even let me out. I mean, come on, guys. Like, she said no. I said, can I come out? And she went no. And I said, well, you better get your plumber in because your pipe work's fucked.
Hey, Martin, that's Views. Hello from England. How are you?
England.
Brown men.
Sorry, joking.
You're Welsh. Don't get it twisted. I know.
But people will argue. He doesn't sound Welsh.
Felicia. Well, I don't sound all. See, that's the thing. Y'all English, Welsh, it depends on where you live. I'm from Wisconsin. I sound Wisconsin most of the time, and then every once in a while, like the Mid Atlantic or the Southern will come out of me, and it'll be like you adapt to where you are.
I mean, I can really confuse them when I just go, ja, guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren. Heute werden wir über ein Gerichtsvorziehen reden. Also ich hoffe, dass ihr alle gemütlich seid und nehmt euch bitte den Sitz und holt euch was zu trinken. Dankeschön und hello, welcome back to the Squid Coco Show.
Nanny, I'm having a new roof put on, so can't afford a bottle of wine. However, I have a fifth. Oh, drink them if you got them. I don't encourage that, by the way, so nobody come at me. But, you know. And thank you, Ninja Puppy, for the $15 Ko-fi. I do really appreciate that. It does
No,
really
Jeffrey,
help
that's
out.
Germany, mate.
It does really help out.
Jeffrey, that's over in Germany, fella. Sorry.
So, and I saw one more, Cynthia, member of Tentacle Nation for 7 months. Tentacles loved. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Natty. I appreciate that. Woodford Reserve. I have a friend who works for Woodford Reserve. Timothy. All right, we are going to get into this. I'm sorry if I miss anybody. I do apologize. However, we got a lot to talk about, and Buckshot in the chat. I saw Buckshot. See, I have the YouTube chat open on my other screen, so if I see my name highlighted, my brain goes there.
That's what I've been doing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Polymopicus in the house. How are you?
Papa Squid, Mama Squid, your best friend.
Dragon. Peace all. I'm getting car sick. Oh no. That motion sickness is the worst. It's the worst. All right. We are going to get into these documents.
Heidel. Heidel is a German spy, yeah? If we were in 1941, you would be a German spy, yeah? Yes, you would, yeah.
Wouldn't that be Squidlet's a Russian spy, considering she keeps sending people Russian messages?
I think you need to, like, get, I think what you should do is do like an eye scanner of fingerprints and send it to the ITV, BBC, CIA, FBI, ATV, and all that thing. Yeah, that one.
Okay, so we're getting into the motion that I titled Richard Luthman whining.
Oh God. Oh.
That's what I saved it in my computer as. Sorry, bro, if you see this. It is not meant to be it is not meant to be a bitch. However, sometimes you just look at shit and you're just like, why?
Do you know, he would do quite well on stage cleaning it, but
there is one thing that I agree with in here, and it's like even a broken clock is right twice a day. Yeah.
Where are you getting?
And it makes me a little nauseous to talk about that, but
this is going to be fun.
If you see me turn off my camera, it's because steam is coming out of my ears, because I hate people who use labels. I despise hiding behind labels to make people feel bad for you or get sympathy. I have this. It's like Laura Owens. I was on with Nick Starro yesterday for 2.5 hours, and we got through approximately 8 minutes of a hearing. we were listening to Laura Owen's bankruptcy hearing. However, got through 8 minutes of it in 2.5 hours, but that's a sidebar.
Have you noticed,
The
just
entitlement.
to jump in very quickly, I that's one excuse me, that's one thing I've noticed. Have you noticed that, like, when we look at different court cases besides what the hell's ecosystem, when you look at these other court, you're very sort of opinionated before you actually get into the case, because obviously we're going through this case for the last 2.5 years now. Looking at other cases, this is why I'm fairly quiet when we're dealing with that other one that we've been watching, because I don't want to be stereotypical, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to take the negativity or the crap from this case over to the next case. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, you're going over that I can't be sued for reason of insanity. Yeah, we're going to skip over a lot of it because it
he's playing just because he got psychologically evaluated in 2018, 2019 in his court case. That means nothing. They did that to make absolutely sure, because he was playing a game. Because who in their right mind would go into a court and ask for trial by combat?
Well, and here's the situation. Here's where I find myself on this like spectrum of crap.
Mm.
I am the kind of person who because I know I have a background in psychology, background in OT versus PT. PT's more biomechanics. OT weighs a lot on psychology. I am not a psychologist. I do not have a degree in psychology. However, I have a bigger psych background than a lot of people. With that being said,
breathe.
I think my personal opinion is that whenever you file a court case, there should be a court mandated psychological evaluation before discovery.
Yep.
Whether that's a virtual, like just an interview, or that's a full, you go in person and see somebody, there needs to be some level of crap, because too many people file. I heard the way I was talking to someone today and they use the term perfectly, so it's fresh on the brain: lawfare. I hate you, so I'm going to sue you. I hate you, so I'm going to do this. I hate you because we're getting a divorce, so I'm going to say that I'm scared of you, so you can't see your kids. Lawfare. Every single court case in this country that is brought civilly needs a psychological eval.
Yeah, I agree.
Both sides, not just the plaintiff, but because if you find out that someone has strong indicators for, let's say, narcissistic personality disorder. I'm not diagnosing anybody. We don't do that here. I'm just using that as a generalization, because I know somebody that was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder after a court-ordered psychological evaluation. That being said, so I have personal experience with this one because I know a bitch.
Like, when it comes to the psychological evaluation, I think it should be done not just once, but it should be done before, during, and after, because any well-trained psychologist or
knows people can be manipulative.
Because what you call it, psychologist and oh god, there's another word for it. There's another term, type of psychiatric. Oh my god, it's all wumbled up now.
Well,
because when you do the first evaluation, sorry to interrupt. When you do the first evaluation, right, you can then have a psychiatric nurse who is trained to see the symptoms and signs, take part in depositions, take part in the court case, and then they can be, employed by the courts to then report back to the psychologist, who can then fulfill his or her obligation to, complete a perfect assessment, so to speak. Because if you look at the 2018-2019 one that he got, right? It was all based at, oh, he had marriage issues, alcohol issues, stuff like that. That there, right, is not an evaluation on the conduct. That was an evaluation on why he's behaving the way he is. If that makes any
and
sense.
people can manipulate the system too. You know what? After seeing something for so long, so say a certain, like for example, if I was given a slums cognitive screening by any member of a medical team and in any hospital anywhere, I would probably get a 30 out of 30 on that, even if I was significantly cognitively impaired, because I have taken and administered that exam so many times, I have it memorized. So it's standardized. So every time you get it, it's the same thing, same answers, same thing. I could manipulate the results of that test because it's like, to me, giving a slums exam is like driving a car. I've done it so many times, it's muscle memory. However, same thing can be done with, if you've been in mental health services before, you know what questions they're going to ask you. You know what general questionnaires for depression, anxiety, PTSD that they're going to ask you. And if you really want to, you can manipulate the system if people aren't careful. So, with that being said, it has to be a very it's not just something you can slap on everybody and call it a good system. Like, it's once again, it's very nuanced.
And the problem is as well that when like in this day and age, people will do the research on signs and symptoms of conditions, and if they want to play the game, they will then. But it's a double-edged sword, because if you start playing a game, or mental health, or you got this issue, you got that issue, you are then categorized as that on your medical documentation. So if you then try to go and get a job with aeronautics or any type of ever job, right, and they do like a medical background check on you, there's your career out the window, because, like, unfortunately, if you have conditions, right, maybe it's not the job for you, because they can't basically jeopardize the safety of maybe the material or the people. So people need to be very careful, especially when it comes to court, because courts can legally ask for proof.
And they can fuck you up if they get it.
Big time. I mean, all it takes is the opposition to turn around and say, right, we would like, I know, I mean, I'm not really uptight with HIPAA law and everything else, but I do know that courts can actually subpoena factual proof of the conditions. And if you are lying about it, good luck trying to dig yourself out of that one.
Snipe, I try not to sound nuts when I'm talking to my doctors. Yeah. You're like, oh, yep, I get it. All right. So getting into this.
Yeah.
Defendant
You want to take
Luthman,
turns?
he uses junior here. Proceeding pro se, with it waiving any jurisdictional service, doing all the same stuff that he normally does. Defendant does not seek immunity from the rules. I beg to differ. When people say, I don't want immunity from the rules, but I want special treatment, that is kind of a form of immunity. You want special treatment. You don't want to be treated like everybody else because I have this label. I have this label.
Here's my question, though, before you carry on.
We're never going to get through this document.
But we are. Like, my question is this: when will we see a motion from Mr. Magoo where it states in there, I demand right now, today of this year of 2026, trial by combat? That's what I'm waiting for. Because it's going to happen. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
When, where, and what time?
Yeah. Hey, what was it? American Medieval MMA. I'm up.
I didn't do medieval MMA. I just did MMA.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Oh boy, would I have fucking fun.
We're just going to leave it at that. However, He seeks practical procedural safeguards so that his case is litigated on the merits without forfeiture, waiver, sanctions, or adverse rulings based on the functional disadvantages created by his pro se status. I'm sorry, you chose to go pro se. That's a you problem, not a Jeremy problem, not a court problem. No one told you that you had to be pro se. No one said you couldn't hire a lawyer. You chose that. Once again, not a Jeremy problem, not a court problem. That's a you problem. All right. Defendant does based on his functional disadvantages by his pro se status, lack of the electronic filing access. This is the only thing that I agree with is the lack of electronic filing. I think in 2026, everybody should have access to electronic filing just for ease of use, time. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's a whole. But
Yeah,
however, that's one thing I agree with.
Yeah, but it's the comment right underneath that sentence that blows it back out of the water, because what he's trying to do, he is now trying to bring mental health and everything else into it.
Yes, we haven't got there yet.
I know.
Well, just remember, sir, you said it, not me.
Exactly.
We're just gonna go with that one. However, I really would like to give you a slums cognitive screening to see if you were to see, or a mini mental status, because we used to give those to patients all the time. Everybody's got problems, but some people more than others. However, documented mental health history. See, it's fine to have a mental health history. To weaponize your mental health history is a really shady thing for me. Like, that's what I don't agree with, because people have mental health issues. I was told by one of my professors, and y'all have hear me preach on this before. Yes, because I do, Luthman, I do have a college degree. Despite what some people will try to tell you, I do have a college degree. With that being said, one of my college professors said you can take the phys rehab out of mental health, but you can never take the mental health out of phys rehab. So you have to walk a fine line and deal with both. With that being said, I have dealt with everybody from just depression based on their current medical status to bipolar to severe schizophrenia. My first ever clinical experience, level 1 clinical, in a hospital, my first patient ever was schizophrenic. Welcome to therapy on acute care. Here's your schizophrenic patient. It was an interesting experience, to say the least.
However, sorry.
I'm going to get through this paragraph and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Known cognitive and emotional impairments, and the court recent characterization of one of his assertions of detached from reality. And that right there, I know the judge said that, we kind of laughed at it. But when you say that as a judge, be prepared to ask for a mental status exam. Because you can't, like, I like Hinkle because he's so upfront and blunt and he's straight to the point and he doesn't waste time and energy. However, if you are going to say things like that in an order, be prepared to back it up with an order for a mental health evaluation. Just saying. My personal opinion, I'm not a lawyer. I never claimed to be one. Don't want to be one. Y'all suck. However, not all of you. I know at least 4 people who don't suck, who are lawyers. However, with that being said, that's, yeah. Squid just described my family.
Now, I mean, I've got a couple of questions. One's directly to Richard and the other one is in regards to this. Now, we know that, like, if we look at both sides, mental health is obviously something you don't joke about and you don't use it as an excuse. because there are people out there who desperately do need the support because they have mental health issues. Now, regardless of if you've got mental issues or not, Richard, my question to you is this: why are you using a psychological evaluation from your 2019 case and use it and weaponize that to then excuse your behavior in this case, considering that realistically you injected yourself into this case? Now, just saying that, your behavior, especially when you sat on a certain individual's platform and bragged about that, what you're going to bombard the courts with paperwork until, well, in my own terminology, until hell freezes over. So my question to you, if the court turns around and says they want to do a psychological evaluation on you, will you refuse? The second question is, why are you using that in the first place to get your way in the courts and try to emotionally push them to treat you differently? And personally, I think that people who do use mental health as a label or weaponize it are despicable. And, you could gain a little bit more respect. And I do give you kudos. There are a couple of things that you said over the last month and a half that I am quite I'd say I give you credit for. However,
like I said, I don't have to get along with someone to realize when they make sense. Like we don't have to be friends to realize that some shit that happens. Like, and he said, so here's the thing. He said, for the record, there you go. Sorry, Restream is a little more delayed than StreamYard with putting comments on the screen. So I'm getting used to the pausing and waiting, and I'm impatient. For the record, I'm not asking for e-filing. I'm asking for email notices. I don't like all the trees that are being killed with the mailings. I put it in the chat. I'd go one further than you. I think it's 2026. This is where I do agree with you that if you want to go there, that all courts should have e-filing access, even for pro se defendants, because especially with pro se defendants who aren't lawyers or have a legal education and know how to do things, for ease of use, being able to file your documents without having to send them to people where things could get lost. It takes time. Snail mail is a bitch. Like we all know, shit's expensive, So it's just for ease of use. We are in 2026. Why can all court systems not just use electronic filing for everybody? Why do they got to make it? I know you got to make it a little difficult for pro se defendants to discourage them from being pro se or whatever. But like, come on, it's 2026. Can we get with the fucking times, please?
Yeah. My question is this, right? In regards of Richard's comment. Now, you've wrote in there, I am being sued. I am a defendant. So let me ask you, in tail of that, let me ask you this question then, Richard. What is the reason of you being sued?
And we're gonna leave like all of that out of it.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to be respectful, and I'm trying to.
But there's just certain things that
carry on.
We're all civil here, and someone who doesn't like my channel or a lot what I say is friends with someone who is very hostile towards me is in my chat and sort of being respectful. So like, I don't want to we're here to talk about the document in front of us. If we want to do a document or a stream where we just ask questions and
no, go for it. Go on.
But we'll leave that for another time. Yep. However, I want to get to a couple things. Cynthia, thanks for being a member for 20 months. I'm so proud of you. Hugs and love. Thank you so much. There's a couple other that I missed too. Palomopicus, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Who would apply first, Ferretta or Baker or both? We could go a lot of places with some of these comments, but we will keep it. I'm already having a day where I could this is the day where you wish you had a punching bag in the shed, because you're not mad at anybody in particular. You're just fed up with people. If I had to go to Walmart right now, this would be the day when I'd be a people of Walmart, if that makes sense.
Okay, here comes my job. Right, back on topic. Cynthia's had enough of this page. Next page, please.
However, to the person who just emailed me, I did get your email. With your permission, sometime in the next few weeks, I would like your permission to like discuss your email on my other channel. However, I needed that today. So can you show us the next page? Yes. Yes, I will.
Yes.
The motion is supported by a memorandum, blah, 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 but we're going to not skip that because I apologize. Like, we're going to skip past things, if you know what I mean. Even though they're still public information, we're skipping past them because I'm just trying not to be that kind of a person. If you know what I mean. All right. Memo. This motion asks for modest procedural accommodations. Defendant requests no merits, advantage, exemption from the rules, or special privilege. This is the thing. And like I said, not a lawyer, so I'm just going on my medical side and my ADA accommodations because my background is in medicine. So, with that being said, if you are asking for accommodations, that is special privilege. That doesn't mean people don't deserve it. However, strictly going on words here, if you are getting ADA accommodations, you are getting a special privilege. Just based on the very definition of, yeah. Don't make me put up the stopwatch emoji. Yeah. And hey, Musey, thanks for your help the other day. Yes, only that the court account for his actual litigation posture, his pro se. That's your own fault, though. You could hire a lawyer. I mean, that's what Bubbles did. That's what Helm did. MLS and Bubbles both hired lawyers. It's possible. Oh, boy. No, this.
Yeah, I've seen that. I just saw that. And oh, God. Oh, yeah, it's Pick on Spawn Day today.
I thought it was Pick on Spawn every day.
Oh, yeah, good point.
But Spawn will be the first person to tell me to shut the fuck up when I'm getting like a little, but I will tell him the same thing.
Yep.
So, clear notice of procedural defects and meaningful opportunity to cure them before waiver, forfeiture, dismissal, contempt, or sanctions are imposed. Interesting. The motion sharpened by the court's June 15th order, the court wrote that the defendant's assertion concerning possible mishandling of objections and possible outside influence was detached from reality. That statement that you put in that motion, and you know who I'm talking to, that was a little out there. Let's be honest here. Who were we kidding ourselves to say that was not a little bizarre? I just, So I'm going to take this off the screen for a second. Just, I just have to do one thing.
I mean, like, I've just got one question. And I don't care how this is taken. How the hell are you going to be taken seriously when you can't even be serious in a court document?
I think there's decorum things that need to be like, I don't know. Like, I'm big on decorum. Like, I'm big on decorum. Like, it's just, I don't have to like a situation. Like, for example, there's a judge in town here that I can't fucking stand. However, if I ever had to go in front of him, I wouldn't be a disrespect. You have to respect the position. You don't have to like the person.
Just like in the military, you respect the rank, but not the person.
And I think that's where I got that from, is I don't have to like the person.
But you have to respect the rank.
But you have to respect the position that they got to, because they got there somehow. Sometimes it's through legit means, and sometimes it's not.
Mm-hmm.
However, you still have to respect the fact that that's the position they are in. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that I don't have to like it in order to do it.
Yeah, common sense. Oh, sorry, I swore. My bad. I'm sorry. I did say so. Look, okay. I'll go in the basement.
You said sorry, but
Did I mean it? Maybe.
that's the thing. Saying you're sorry without a behavioral change doesn't mean scheiße.
Scheisse. Not scheisse. Scheisse.
Whatever.
Yeah.
An American.
Shut up and carry on.
You first.
Okay.
Sorry. I forgot there's envelopes and shit in here that we need to cover up. Because like I said, I'm not that type of person to go, just because it's public, here it is. No. Because that's just, sometimes I make mistakes, but I don't do it on purpose.
Behave yourself, Richard. Those type of comments are not nice.
I mean, yeah, just because I don't like some, see, and that's the thing. I don't like somebody, but I also don't think that everything that they've done is a personal, like your comment. I don't necessarily disagree with the first part, but I don't think that you going to prison was because of him being a something. Like the two aren't necessarily, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's a fine line with YouTube of not saying something that's going to piss off my YouTube overlords. Just in case anybody in my YouTube overlords is watching.
Mm-hmm. You went to prison for your actions, not because of the political person in charge of the country. Actions have reaction.
It's one of the situations where I don't have to agree, like I don't have to like a person in charge to understand that not everything is a personal attack.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a uh-oh.
I'm actually being very respectful today, which is unknown, which is uncommon.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
Easy, Tiger. You didn't really have to blow it out there, like, let everyone know.
Well, I just have to write down a page. Okay.
No, we're not gonna. Yeah. I find it's like when you try to joke and mock the court systems, it's only a matter of time before the court system turns around and goes, let's see what you do with a hammer and a big, large rock. Hard labor, 20 years.
All right. Okay.
Ab und zu mal geht dieser Typ mir so auf den Nerven, though. Sorry, someone else can speak German, so they understand what I just said. My apologies.
All right. Court has characterized one of the defendant's assertions as detached from reality. See, my thing is, I just and I'm on Rumble. I hate setting up this situation on Rumble, so sometimes I stream over there and sometimes I don't. And I'm not consistent with setting up streams over there like I am over here. However, defendants court order entered an order overruling defendants' additional objections. The order states that defendants' objections included a baseless suggestion that the clerk's office mishandled the original objections because opposing parties have infiltrated or bribed clerk's office employees. I don't disagree with the judge that that's a little unhinged. However, we all laugh at the judge's response, but I'm also in the case where I really don't like judges, because the more court cases I watch, the more I become an anarchist. However, my thing is if you're gonna say that in an order, you better be backing it up with a court-ordered psych eval.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but I find it very strange that out of look, I'm just gonna keep. No, I'm gonna say it. No, I'm saying it. The fact that any normal person who defends themselves would do it properly would be how use common sense. I know I'm swearing again. Would use common sense. They would put their responses in, and they would then go back and forth until it comes to the actual hearing. But this here, I mean, it's like you're taking the piss out of the court system, mate. And you really don't care about the outcome, because then you're going to play the victim.
Yeah. I'm just one of them people that I just don't like hiding behind labels and trying to play victim when don't even get me on that. That's a topic that I could talk about for hours. Hours. However, I promised that I'd be good, and I won't do it.
Yes, you won't.
Defendant respectfully does not concede that his concern was invented from nothing. Publicly available Hale's ecosystem materials included a transcript in which YouTubers discuss a fly on the wall, allegedly providing real-time information about a judge's current activity. In Unhung Hero, before I get into this next part, I need to make sure that I tell you to sit and rotate. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Do I have to read it?
Yes, read it.
It's supposed to be Hath. Hathcock is his name. Is the dude's name.
All right, one more time.
Oh, no, not without another $5 super chat.
Come on, guys.
That's why he super chats it, because I said if you're going to make me say it, I'm going to say it. You better put it in a super chat. It was supposed to be a joke, but a year later, it's a thing.
I wonder if I can do that.
Here's where my personal feelings have to be put aside, because I feel that when you say shit and you claim to be friends with people and you say shit on the internet, people are going to take it and run with it, no matter if you were being facetious or you were being 100% serious. This is where, yes, I get that, but it's one of the differences of talking about a case and inserting yourself into a case.
Some good points there.
There's certain things that I don't do, and this is just me. I'm not necessarily judging anybody else for what they choose to do. That is completely up to them. However, when you claim to be friends with people and then you say things on your stream, people are going to naturally assume that you are getting your information from a source that they don't like. Let's beat around the bush that way. However,
hypocritical, that.
What do you mean hypocritical?
So now I was just thinking out loud. I was just reading something. No, I thought I was muted. Sorry.
The materials include a transcript in which YouTubers discuss a fly on the wall. Allegedly, sorry, I was about to say something that YouTubers is a little stretchy for this. In that exchange, Chris at Gurley states, quote, "Our little fly on the wall," unquote, said, quote, "The judge is currently responding as we speak to these documents." And later states, "I can't tell y'all everything because we can't get our little fly on the wall in trouble, can we?"
Oh, snap. Yep. Yep.
And this is why I will say till my dying breath, or at least until this case is over, I don't speak, with the exception of people coming in my chat and communicating there. Nobody emails me. I don't email anybody. I don't talk to people. I don't share information with people. I get my own documents to avoid shit like this. To avoid the implication that something I say on stream blows back on somebody else, no matter what side they're on.
No, it can't, because this is part of a document, and at the end of the day, if people are named in that document,
Now, no, stop. That you're missing my point.
okay.
My point is, I don't talk to anybody that's a party in this case on either side.
That's
Minus
true.
when people come in my chat and you see me do it publicly. I don't talk to anybody behind closed doors about anything involving parties in this case.
That's true.
Because if I did, and I say something that I'm trying to bait somebody or whatever, I don't want this blowing back on either side that I overstepped. That is why people got mad at me because I said I'm not friends with Jeremy. I'm not. I don't text him. I don't call him. We don't email. We don't exchange information. I have not spoken to that man one-on-one, like in person, since he was on my stream for 3 minutes in December of 2024. That is the last time we exchanged any positive words. With that being said, that's how I try my best. It doesn't always work, hence Voldemort. But to avoid this situation, because when you have people who assume things and don't always work on facts, but assume they know what the hell they're talking about based on a 30-second conversation in a live stream. And as we've talked about with psychology, the brain fills in the gaps for you. That is where conspiracy theories come from. Not just this case, but in worldwide, is the brain gets half the information that it needs and it comes up with a story because that's what the brain primitively does. Well, with that being said, when you bait people, this shit happens. This is why you don't fucking do this. I'm pretty matter of fact about everything in my world of engineering. This is a good thing.
1 second, nature call. Be right back.
It's just one of those, like, I don't like shit like this. I am not saying that I agree with putting the shit into a document from Bluthman's perspective. However, when you try to bait people, shit like this happens. And when you try to bait people, no offense, Bluthman, but you know you are papering the court with shit because you've said it before. I just don't like this. I just don't like this. Defendant does not ask this court, or Coop responds, as far as I know, we're the only ones that have this ace, and says the fly on the wall will never be named. I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. I don't know if it was real conversation. I did not watch that stream because back when this happened, I did not speak to any of those parties, and I still don't speak to half of that equation. However, defendant does not ask this court in this motion to adjudicate the fly on the wall. Who the fly on the wall is, whether the speaker was exaggerating or whether the courthouse employee or court adjacent person could be provided information. But those public statements show why the defendant's concern was not manufactured from empty air. And I really, really hate to do this. But I kind of agree with that. I think he took it to excess. But like when people say shit like that, it can blow back on a certain party like this. I know, Coop. Remember, if it's true, if it's on the internet, I understand that. However, I just know with the kind of people that love to take shit out of context, spin it, and put their own narrative on it, and try to shove it into the court system. I just feel like there's just certain things. Oh, I don't even, Musey, you can try, but good freaking luck. I've been like this all day. This is not this stream topic that has me like this. This has been in the last like 12 hours.
And don't worry, I'll step in if need be. I've already got my helmet and flak jacket on, so I'm ready to step in.
That is why I love being autistic. I'm so black and white about what people say and don't fill in the gaps. It's funny to me when people fill in the gaps and get it so wrong. Yeah, the average brain will fill in gaps because it needs a story. Like the brain needs a story. It's not someone inventing something on their own. It's the primitive brain doing what the primitive brain does as a protective measure. Because our brain does not like to not have information. It just doesn't. However, with that being said, I'm a very black and white kind of person too. Like it is or it isn't. Like we live in a gray area, and I try to not live in that gray area as much as possible.
And well, I was going to say something about context, but at the end of the day, people can hear half a story, and they're making an assumption, but they never try to find out the whole story.
Yeah, that's when people take shit out of context, spin it in the way that they think it is based on their opinions.
Yeah, that's where all the problems stem from. Well,
yeah. And Volusia 1 says, I really don't know crap about the entire saga, but it's become obvious way too many people with absolutely no ball in the game injected themselves into a matter between two neighboring families. Stupid. Yes. And
there's a difference of injecting yourself and becoming emotionally involved or having an opinion. It's two different fucking worlds.
And that's why some people on both sides don't like me, is because I agree with the facts, most of the facts being on one person's side. But that doesn't mean that person's always right, and I never get to disagree with that person ever in my life. And that also doesn't mean I have to like everything that everybody does all the time. Like Mr. Squid and I don't even like what each other does all the damn time. Do you really think some internet stranger I'm really gonna like what they do all the time and not be afraid to tell them? Like
maybe that's what people are scared of. That's why they're probably scared of you, because of you're not picking sides. Two, you're saying it as it is. And three, all right, they can't. How can I put it? They can't change you. They can't change you to their narrative. So
I'm 40 years old. No, if I haven't changed by now, I'm not going to.
Yeah, no, you're not. No.
And this is me at 40 before like the filter comes off. Because if when you get older, you get less of a filter. So
next year then. You look. I'm just. Oh God, am I going to get it afterwards? I told you I was going to calm you down a little bit, but
I've been like this whole fucking day.
Carry on. Love you.
Here's some issues, because I don't necessarily disagree with some of this from the court's perspective. However, I think it's taken to an excess.
Wait, it's beyond that. It's beyond that.
Yeah, it's taken to an excess. Hey, Buck Naked, love you, Squid, but if you agreed with me, I'd recommend you be Baker acted. Yeah, and Coop, and I see where you're coming from. I really do. Len, you know that this is you're my dude. However, from the very beginning, I have always said it doesn't matter what happens on the internet, and it's only what the judge sees, and that is what the judge is seeing without context. And unless Randy responds and puts the context, which he may or may not, depending on what he feels is important, that is what the judge will see and the judge will form an opinion based on. Something that's taken out of context. That is why I think that rhetoric on the internet, when you are close to a situation, is difficult. Not that it's not anybody's right. It's just, you know, you know, it's one of those situations where it's like it's not wrong, but you just look at it and you go, oh, this is going to be taken the wrong way. Insert taken the wrong way. Pro se filings must be liberally construed. And here's the thing. I also have opinions about pro se litigants who went to law school. Pro se litigant generally implies that you do not have a legal education. I know, and like Coop, I'm not judging you. I'm not. It's just a general statement that like when things are twisted and taken out of context and then used against you later, I just get cringy like that. That's like that's just my personal feeling about it. That doesn't mean that I think that anybody is wrong for doing it. It's just not my cup of tea. It's just not how I choose to do things. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just, when someone is twisting all of the words that you are using, that is one of the reasons that even though I don't have to clarify some things, I do. Spawn gets mad at me because I'm like, here, let me clarify. Because when shit is taken out of context and spun, when people don't like you and they want to use shit against you, taking your words out of context
Hang on.
is one thing.
Hang on a minute. I don't get angry that you explain, right? But what I get pissed off about, and you already know this because we've discussed this privately, is that you fucking explain yourself to people that at the end of the day, you don't need to explain yourself. At the end of the day, they have to accept your personal opinion. And
However,
if you explain,
I understand where you're coming from, but the same thing holds true.
Yes.
Is if I say something and they don't understand the why I'm saying it,
that's different.
It is spun, but that's explaining myself, explaining the context of why I think the way I think. Like my thinking that every court case should come with a free psych eval.
Yeah.
And I say that because I know somebody that got diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder after a court mandated psych eval in a divorce case.
Right. Well, just for the record, so everyone is on the same page. I'm still going to get angry and tell you to stop explaining yourself.
And I'm still going to tell you to shut the hell up, and we're going to
I know. And then we're just going to go back and forth for about 30 seconds, and then we carry on with the topic, don't we?
Exactly.
Carry on, please.
But I always have a problem with pro se. Pro se implies that you don't have a legal education. I feel like there needs to be some you're not a practicing attorney. You're not a licensed attorney, but you have more legal education than the average bear.
Mm-hmm. And actually, you got a bloody good point there. If you are a former lawyer, technically you should be informing the courts that you're a former lawyer, so they can then like before you accuse them of being biased, they can then judge you a little bit harsher because obviously you've got the experience to circumvent, certain things like fill up 16 pages of other stuff.
The Supreme Court held long that pro se pleadings are held to less stringent standards than pleadings drafted by lawyers.
And
that
you're a former lawyer, man.
And that's where I get very
yeah, I'll join you on this
cringy.
one. Yeah.
Cringy.
Say it one more time. One more time. Just one more time. All I want to hear you say one more time. Say it one more time. Say it.
Cringy.
Say it. Right. Go on. Yep. That's up. Yep. You see, the word cringy, I hope he's paying attention, because you are a former lawyer. You practiced law, and then you ended up losing that license because of a criminal activity and ended up in the federal jail. Okay. And now you're saying that, oh, I'm a per se, I don't know law. Well, you should be telling them that you have legal experience. Therefore, you have an advantage than any Tom, Dick, or Harry.
My pretty makes a really good point. It hurts people that are really at a disadvantage. I agree. And I think that's why it's cringy to me, is it hurts, like...
Exactly. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
People who are really pro se because they can't afford lawyers.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, and he's taking advantage of that.
11th Circuit likewise holds that pro se pleadings are liberally construed. Courts also look to substance over labels when evaluating pro se filings. You know,
we're getting in the neck.
Status does not excuse compliance with procedural rules, but that principle does not eliminate the court's duty to construe pro se filings liberally and to apply procedural fairly in light of practical realities. Oh my God, reading is hard.
Cynthia Firefly just went, would you two shut up and just get on with the fucking...
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm...
Sorry.
Courts have authority to manage deadlines and procedure fairly. Yeah, I think you've been given a lot of
leeway.
I think that calling someone an alligator in a filing and not being sanctioned for it almost immediately, I think you've been given a lot of leeway. But thanks for the view. Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 1 requires rules to be construed, administered, and employed to secure the just, speedy. You kind of mess with that one too. An inexpensive determination of every action.
And he messed with that one as well.
6B permits extensions of good time for good cause. The requested accommodations fall squarely within an ordinary case management authority. Defendant is not asking the court to change substantive law. He asked the court to manage manage procedure in a way that protects meaningful access and avoids unfair forfeitures. Here we go.
Oh, God.
Defendant disability access principles support reasonable and procedural safeguards. I've been meaning to talk ADA and ADA compliance. I'm not sure which channel to do it on, because I was going to do it on ETM because that's where it fits. However, it's seeming to fit more on this channel than that one.
Check Buffett's comment.
Buffed?
Sorry, Buffed, yeah.
I was like, where do you see a T in there? Doesn't his argument seem contradictory on the pro se? I just think the fact that he has the law degree kind of... I don't necessarily think it's backward or like he argues against himself, but I don't interpret it that way, but the court might. I just think trying to say that I don't know. I think the legal education and claiming pro se status that I don't know anything about the law is is a little is just it's a strange one, as ADA falls under both channels. Yeah. Well, I could dual stream it on both too. There's that. Access to courts is a fundamental interest. Supreme Court recognized the importance of court access for persons with disabilities in Tennessee v. Lane. Defendant acknowledges that Title II of the ADA applies most directly to state and local public entities. And the federal courts are governed by a distinct legal and administrative framework, but the principles animating disability accommodation, meaningful access, reasonable modification, reasonable reasonable, but you also have to provide documentation.
Mm-hmm.
And
the courts can actually demand proof.
like documentation, not another court case, but
Mhm.
like the actual documentation from a medical provider.
Mm-hmm.
So am I. Well, technically, I'm not bipolar. I have bipolar depression. It's different.
I'm just Welsh.
Well, that's a problem in itself. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you.
There's
I'm going to take it out on Jeffrey Montgomery now.
a lot regarding ADA Title II compliance that many courts and other government entities are lacking. Yeah.
Question.
ADA is really big as well. So I'd have to like refresh my memory on all of what Title II demands.
Got a question for you.
Huh?
Got a question for you and the community here, the chat. Could the opposition say he's defendant, their plaintiff? Could plaintiff legal team request proof of ADA protectivity?
Yeah. Well,
good question, isn't
it
it?
would have to. They could request it, but it would have to be court ordered. You want accommodations? Provide us with the documentation that says you need these, because anybody can go, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. Provide me with accommodations.
Mm-hmm.
But it's up to the court, and it's the court's discretion ultimately, which is why I think he's trying. Hey, hose picker. Hose picker in the house. So this is, and Harry said there's nothing wrong with being bipolar. No, there's not. As long as you are doing what your medical team advised you to do to manage it appropriately. I am not bipolar. I have bipolar depression, which is a completely different diagnosis in general. So I am not bipolar, before anybody like flips that one around. I have bipolar depression. It's a fun experience, to say the least. So, principles innovating disability accommodation, meaningful access, reasonable modification, and avoidance of exclusion by reason of disability are relevant to this court's inherent authority, due process obligations, case management power, and judiciary's own commitment to access. Very true. However, I believe you should have to prove that you need accommodations.
Mm-hmm.
It's different than someone in a wheelchair obviously needing a ramp. That is physical, that is can be seen. This is where proof has to be shown ex parte, otherwise it's taken at face value under the law. That you got a really Haldor, you got a really good point. He's basically setting up his appeal argument. Defendant does not ask the court to decide a freestanding ADA damages claim. He asks for reasonable procedural safeguards in an existing federal case. They're modest and within the court's authority. Mental health history and judicial observations support accommodation rather than waiver traps. So Judge Weinstein was in his other court case, I think, of reasons expressly linked defendant's conduct and collapse as a lawyer to mental health problems. See, that's not proof. That is the judge making an assumption.
Yeah, but here's another thing. He's saying mental health problems. Now, he was the diagnoses that he had from that last court case were based on behavioral, like alcohol consumption, stuff like that. It wasn't, so I'm not going to discuss it publicly. I've got an opinion about what I read.
But with all of that should come documentation from a
professional.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a psychologist or therapist, both, and a doctor. Accredited, by the way. not some walk-in. Hello, I'm Dr. Frankenstein. So I don't want to get sued for saying Frankenstein.
Isn't ADA simply an adjustment to what is considered normal human operation, i.e., wheelchair access, deaf or blind? It's not about changing the whole structure. Yeah, but there's different parts for different. There's multiple parts. The ADA is not small. I think it's like 100 and something pages. So there is a lot to it that when we think of ADA, we think of reasonable access. But the actual law defines what reasonable access is for different things. And that's Heidel and I have had ADA conversations before.
Squid, I just sent you the link to the ADA.gov, US Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. You're welcome.
That's what I was that's the website I was going to. I have it saved in my bookmarks.
Too slow. You're too slow. You should know that I'm like a missile.
Well, I was in the middle of a sentence too, so
I know. Still
that's
no
why
excuse.
it's kind of pointless to figure out what he's doing.
Oh, and by the way, guys, you know, if you go online and just type in ada.gov, you can actually find an 0800 number that if you need to talk to somebody, you know, go and check that number out. And if you want the number, I'd be more than happy to say it out right now if you like. May I?
It also goes into fair housing, air carrier access, voting accessibility, Civil Rights Rehabilitation Act. There's a lot to it. The ADA is not small.
Nope.
Someone please point out in the ADA or any other statute code where the court, other than criminal cases, is required to consider mental health behavior that created some sort of tort. You know, personally, from what all I've read, when I was personally discussing ADA when it came to my career, it was 99.9% mobility issues and cognitive issues as far as access to public transportation, businesses, because each business has to be ADA compliant. When you have a ramp has to be so many, I think it's 12 inches per foot rise over run. So for every foot up, or for every foot up, it has to be, or for every step has to be a foot out. It's my brain hasn't had to process that information in 6 years. So, but we'd have to make accommodations for people. And I also had had conversations with people in college about ADA, and we had to go out and do, and I've talked about this on my channel before, in my other channel.
May I post a link for people?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys, the link is in chat. I've just posted it.
Of course. So, you know, ETM's at 409. Yep, we're at 409. We're getting there. I did have a not nice comment this morning. So on that channel, it was my first ever rude comment on that channel.
Oh dear. Did you wash your mouth out with soap?
No, but they did make it into the comment section on Discord. For all of you that don't know, whenever you leave me a hater comment in my chat, it gets screenshot and posted to my Discord server for everybody on my Discord server to point and laugh. So, yep. Thank you. For some reason, I was thinking it was a foot, 12 inches, but it, you know, my handicap ramp is 18 foot long from front door to porch. It's a thing. But those were the numbers that I had to deal with. Mental health accommodations in a court was not something that I ever really had to think about, because my patients were physical rehab more than anything. So we just have to remember that Even though I have the information somewhere in my brain, I have not unlocked it in about 6 years. So just talking about it is making me remember a lot of things, but I can't just recite it. It's too big of a law to just recite from the brain. Oh, hold on. You need to unblock Stacy. There you go. All right. Defendant should not be held to a functional standard of a licensed attorney. I mean, defendant is not acting as counsel. Well, technically speaking, you're acting as your own counsel. And when you have a legal education, you have a leg up on most pro se defendants. Therefore, you fall into what I describe as a loophole. And I think you're taking advantage of it. Personal opinion. I have no tolerance for people that try to abuse the ADA law here. So many people that need ADA for real problems to overcome. Yeah.
Here.
Hey, it's 5 p.m. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock here.
It's 10 o'clock here.
Ugh. He is defending himself without counsel, without electronic filing privileges, and with documented mental health limitations. Provide the documentation. Obviously, that is HIPAA compliant. We don't need or want to see that. However, I'm curious. Like, just because I know that I don't need to see something or I shouldn't see something does not make me not curious. Sorry. Hold on one second. Sorry, I almost answered the phone on camera, and I was gonna answer it with a certain comment that might not be ADA, might not be appropriate for YouTube. So he is not. Plaintiff in the court may disagree with defendant's tone, phrasing, and conclusions. You think? But the proper response is not to erase the difference between a trained See, and here's no. It flips all over again. I'm not a lawyer. Yeah, but you went to law school. Like, I got nothing for that. You know? I wish oh my God, could you imagine him in front of Judge Simpson? Like, Luthman, if you're still listening, look up Judge Simpson and see what his face would be like if you were in front of him. The court's detached from reality language reinforces the need for accommodation. Court's June 15 language is important. If defendant's assertion was merely wrong, the court could say it was unsupported or insufficient, but the court went further and said it was detached from reality. Even though it was funny, this is where a thing where language is important, even for the judge. I understand it was put in there. I don't necessarily disagree with Hinkle. However, you're a judge. You maybe should have used something different. Because, and this is the thing, even judges need to be careful on their words because people are going to twist it and like this. You know? Meh. Defendant does not concede that the description, the public fly-on-the-wall transcript demonstrates the defendant's concern about court-adjacent information flow was not without any factual trigger. But even assuming the court rejects defendant's inference, the court's language points to accommodation issue. But I don't think it does. However, I do think that, don't let the haters know what, because then they'll stop posting. It's a window into how insane they are. It's bizarre. It's just, Oh, speaking of Canadian. Oof.
All right, just can I just say something?
Yeah.
So everyone's on the same page. Stacey Nat's asked me to unblock her. I've just asked, and I've just found if that is her, she's going to be unblocked. I blocked her for a reason. However, out of respect and because it's British Army Day today, right? I'm releasing you from jail on good behaviour.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, and you're going to be on probation for 6 months.
6 month So speaking of being Canadian, have you heard about my favorite company right now? Tallow Truth. Oh my god, I'm addicted. I'm now addicted to their vanilla body butter. It's beef tallow skincare. I love it. Y'all should try it. I am very conscious of what I put on my skin so that I continue to look not like 40 years old, and I get rid of this what the fuck line that's appearing again in the middle of my face after reading all of these interesting documents, putting it lightly. However, if you go to thetallowtruth.com/squid, you'll get 12% off of every order or use code squid at checkout. I am addicted. It smells like whipped buttercream vanilla frosting and it's delicious. Delicious.
Do you know, can I just say something here?
Yes.
I've got people on my block list. I don't even know who they are.
That makes sense. That checks.
What? Oh! He can fuck right off.
So, and
him.
Stacey,
Oh,
I
sorry.
appreciate that. No worries. I'm not out to cause issues. Center, looking at the facts, eyes are wide open. Yes, and I think that was a long time ago when things were different and people had different opinions of each other. And
You're good, Stacey. It's all good. It's all good.
but
Like
see,
I said,
we all can grow as people.
yeah, like I said,
Oh,
you're on
and
probation for 6
Tammy,
months.
on their website, they have a field balm. It's a tick balm, a mosquito balm. Tammy is on vacation right now, so why she is in this chat, I'm not really sure. However, I appreciate her being here because I love her dearly. She's like an aunt to me, like an older sister. However, with that being said, she has tried the field balm on vacation, on hikes, and it has worked. So I'm probably gonna get that next to get rid of some of the mosquito issues here because I am a mosquito magnet. So but it does work. We have a field test of the field balm. We have a vacationer who is using it every day. And when she didn't put it on, she noticed a difference. So,
Why do you want me to say something? I don't get that.
huh?
Buck Naked wants me to say stuff. I refuse.
Nope, on the road home. Oh, you're on the way home? Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, Canada.
It's always a sad day.
Mate, where were we on the document? Carry on.
All right. If litigants' reasoning is viewed by the court as detached from reality, then procedural safeguards are appropriate. The court should not simultaneously characterize defendant's reasoning as impaired and hold him to the functional standards of fully able attorney. And see, and that is where just because you think something does not mean you should say something, even as a judge. And I don't want, like, it's not that I don't think Judge Hinkle had it within his right to say it. However, when it's your every single word is going to be scrutinized by people who want to spin things. And yeah, if Luthman's still listening, you know as well as I do that you like to spin shit. Like, just admit it. Everybody knows by now. I'm not judging you for it necessarily. I'm just stating a fact. However, this is why. Because words matter, even the judges. So when he said detached from reality, was it funny? Hell yeah. However, now he can use it as, you say I'm detached from reality, give me accommodations. See how that can be spun and turned around on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just now another issue. Ugh. Now another issue.
I mean, it sounds like he's trying to dictate to the court how the case is going to go, and it's going to go his way or no way. That's the impression I'm getting.
Yeah. it just seems that it's like, to me, it seems like throwing spaghetti at a wall, and it's that loophole. Remember how a long time ago when someone was saying that they were going to sue everybody because of the way people were phrasing the fact that they were no longer employed as an attorney? And I said, I don't agree with the I'm going to sue you aspect of it, but I see the loophole that the person is using to jump through to make the connection where the court system may possibly agree. Like I said, I didn't agree with going around and saying I'm going to sue you, but blah blah blah. But I saw the loophole that the individual was using. Same thing here. I don't agree with the logic, but I see the loophole. Do you see that connection when he says, "Well, you called me unhinged, basically, detached from reality. If you think I'm detached from reality, then provide me with accommodations because you said it." I see the I don't agree with it, but I see the logic. That's sad. Yeah. Hey, Sarasota Beach Bum. This whole situation is detached from reality, but that's why it's so interesting. Yeah. And then also, from my perspective, I just want to see if the courts will take online issues more seriously, because online issues are a thing. We are online every day, all the time. And to catch up with 2026, you need to start treating online cyber issues as if it was two people in 3D world. And that's where I'm like, is the court finally going to take things seriously? Which is what's fascinating to me. Because all these states are coming up with these cyber harassment laws and all of these certain things, but like, how can you make laws and then not enforce it? There's the my issue, and what makes this fascinating for me. Defendant's not asking court to find anyone infiltrated the clerk's office or bribe anyone. He's not asking the court to sanction a third party based on a transcript. He is not asking the court to resolve the identity of fly on the wall in this motion. The transcript matters for a narrower reason. It shows that public Hale's ecosystem participants were discussing a person described as a fly on the wall who allegedly had real-time knowledge that the judge is currently responding to filings. It also shows the speaker described protecting the person's identity referred to a source as an ace. And whether they were truthful or just baiting people, it just can go sideways real fast when you're dealing with someone who likes to spin shit. Swan's fingers are talking loud.
Oh shit, you heard that?
Yeah.
Well, at least I'm not doing anything yet. No, leave me alone, Coop.
Courtesy electronic service is a modest and necessary accommodation. I don't find this to be an accommodation, but I do agree that it's 2026. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Every court system should have electronic filing, no matter if you're a litigant or a pro se litigant or an attorney. It's 2026. Everybody has access to the internet. Everybody has a phone. Just documents can be saved on a computer, sent to a phone, or saved to a cloud system. And, it's just, there are very few people in this world who do not have access to internet. I only currently have one person on my block list right now. One person. And it's not like anybody you'd think of. The crust does not replace formal service, but I might be adding more today.
Oh, I've got a shitload of people on mine.
I know.
And they stay there until I see a change in behavior or attitude.
It's one of the situations where I'm not really going to block people because there is very few people that I will take the time to block. The only people I will really block is if we have a 3D beef, or you go after my child, or you try to tell me who I should and should not have in my chat. That person is blocked. So I have 2 people on my block list. Because don't ever tell me who I should or should not have in my chat, because
Yep.
none of your damn business. Mind your business. There's a couple things that are free in life. 1, the ability to stay in your lane, and 2, the ability to mind your own motherfucking business.
Yep. And I have 2 reasons I block people. 1, to protect the community that I am part of, and 2, to protect my platform. Simple.
Yeah. And who
But-
and it's just one of those things of like who I choose to have in my chat is not
Up to debate.
it's not up for debate of someone that I've never actually talked to off of YouTube.
But
So,
as you see, I do have a heart.
yeah, sometimes.
So what?
Defendant is not an ECF filer. The docket already reflects situations in which pro se parties do not receive the electronic notices as attorneys. I mean, I don't disagree with that. So we're gonna skip it because I agree. I
No,
kind
go
of
for it.
agree.
Go for it.
It's one of
Wait,
those
how did that go
situations where
from-
you agree.
How the hell did this document go from 0 to 8, from 0 to 15 now?
Huh?
Ignore me. I don't know what's going on. Carry on.
Additional time and cure opportunities are reasonable. Defendant requests
Hydrate.
additional time where appropriate, especially when a filing is not electronically served on him. Certificate of service is inaccurate or unclear. That one I don't get.
Yeah, have a drink.
Deadline runs from service paper. Defendant did not receive electronically. Issues involve complex procedural rules. No, because you have a legal education. And I saw you. No, JKD Buck, you're never not allowed in this chat. You're anybody messes with JKD Buck, they mess with me.
There you go. Good. You've had a drink. Carry on.
And that's completely reasonable. I also like dealing with difficult personalities. I find it a hobby. When I was working in the clinic and people would say no to, like, I had a patient that would say no to PT. I'd walk right in the room about a minute later and ask why. And I'd be walking with that patient like 5 minutes later. And the PT would get mad at me. Well, not mad at me, but, like frustrated with me because they had to write, patient declined, patient declined participation in session. And I get to put in my OT note right afterwards that says patient walked 500 feet. Like 5 minutes, like a half an hour later is when I put, I work with them and then I write my note. Just interesting that I love situations like that. So I like difficult personalities because that's just my personality and who I like. But everybody can do their own thing on their own channel. And that's what makes YouTube great because we're not all the same. Because if we were all the same, then, and hey, James. Yeah, he's a former bar member and the subject to most of the attorney rules. And that's the loophole. And that's what I can't freaking stand, and it irks me. Because there's this, yes, I'm pro se. So he technically, and this is that fucking technical word, technicality, where he's technically not a lawyer, but he's technically legally educated. Where is the line where a judge will say you are no longer you're pro se, however, I'm not treating you like a typical pro se defendant, and does it have to be in a court, or should it be in a court order that says, although defendant is pro se or plaintiff in whatever case, plaintiff has legal background up until was licensed attorney until whatever date,
Well, that'll be up to the judge.
Putting on record that the judge is aware that they're legally educated and now they are no longer treated as your average pro se defendant.
Yeah.
That's just how I think it should work. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying that that's...
Unless the judge is as thick as 2 short planks. Sure. and allows, or he somehow circumvents and tries, convinces the judge that he's pro se. This is why... What have I missed? Oh.
Oh no, thanks for the 20 Swedish krona. Squid for it's a sausage. However, last night it was a huge topic of conversation on Nick Staro's chat. It's Turkish garlic sausage.
Turkish garlic sausage. Man sausage.
Yes. The problem is the way it's spelled. It's spelled suckak. Yes, yes. You heard that right.
Say it one more time. So JK can get it clearly. Say it
A
clearly.
dry, spicy, fermented sausage which is consumed in several Anatolian, Balkan, and Middle Eastern and Central Asian cuisines.
And it's called?
I'm not saying it again. Not unless it's
Did you get it? Did you get it, JK? Yep, brilliant.
Not unless it's in it. That's another one of those words that unless I'm with Nick Starro and he is showing it because he had one. Go watch Nick Starro's stream from yesterday. He talked about Laura Owens. Llama was on there too. It was
Oh my God,
it was a good time. But Malin, thanks for letting me know you watched that yesterday.
Yeah, and usually you'd expect Malin to go into with her head to go into the gutter, but Heidel has decided to do it tonight.
Oh no, they both did because Malin brought it up because we were not talking about that. I had not brought that up.
Someone needs
and now
a cold
you know
shower.
why it took us 2.5 hours to get through 8 minutes. I had to go do family time, and they did. They kept going on the hearing after I was done. I listened to most of it until I just couldn't listen anymore because the little demanded more attention than he. Yeah, I have to have Nick send you some. It was a good time. Yeah. If Heidel or Gail or any of my mods, if y'all could put the link for Nick Starro's stream from yesterday, his Slightly Buzzed show, in the chat, that would be go watch it. It was a good time. I lost it. I damn near fell out of my chair. Yeah.
That's too funny.
This right here, defendant's pro se status and documented mental health limitations. I am not going to go on I'm not going to go on my rant again about the pro se thing. So it's just Malin brought it up, all right. Oh my goodness, yes, she did. 1 ounce at a time.
Oh God.
Allowing reasonable additional time where service is delayed, unclear, defective, or made only by mail. Allowing defendant meaningful opportunity to cure procedural defects before waiver, forfeiture, dismissal, contempt, or sanctions are imposed. Directing filings by defendant be identified with reasonable clarity so defendant may correct where correction is possible. Put a pic of that product in Discord. Okay, I will look at.
Now I know what to.
Yes, I did go the whole stream yesterday without saying it. Yes, I did.
Do you know, now I can remember what I forgot to ask Luthman before he left.
Is he
why I don't know why he suddenly now uses the suffix junior when he never used to use it before.
So we're gonna do this. We're gonna get through this document and then I'll show it. So granting reasonable extensions of time due to lack of ECF access, granting such other further relief, blah 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 blah. Yeah, today's derailment brought to you by Malin and her sausage.
Yeah.
You did the right thing that Lauren you do. You spit. Oh my goodness. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. Whew.
Fucking Marlin and her sausage, eh?
Let's do
Sausage
this.
war.
I will show a screenshot from yesterday's.
Oh, fucking hell, that's big.
I could not help but like,
Yeah, but the scary part is, both you ladies have got the biggest fucking grin on your face, and he's just sitting there going,
that's what made it. That's one of the things that made it so funny. They.
Shit.
Oh my goodness. Yep. And for those of you who don't know, that is Nick Starro. He is a Swedish lawyer, employment lawyer, and he covers a lot of American cases. He covered the YSL case. He's covered Karen Reed as well. He has been involved in the Broken Baker stuff. JKD Buck is also one of his mods. Thanks for loaning me JKD Buck for my streams too. Oh my goodness. So yeah. Yep. That's us Swedish. He is so much fun. I never had to finish a document before I had to show it. Jesus. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to
Well,
we're gonna move on. Because he had exhibits in there, but they were all other court cases of him talking about and judges talking about his mental health, but nothing that actually proves, nothing that says I will show you documentation from this doctor at this time. I got diagnosed here. I'm on this nothing that says I have documented medical proof. Just this is what the court said. You know, it's a thing. It's a thing.
he's playing the game.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people think that this is just one big game. And it's just not.
No.
This is life. Like this is
I mean, technically, after yes, he got sued because he injected himself. Now, actions have reactions, and reactions have consequences. So you've made your bed, you lay in it, but don't play a game because it's very easy to get caught out in the game, especially when you're cheating.
And then he files a motion to have document 212 struck, which is plaintiff's ECF number 212 or require a corrected certificate of service. I'm not going to read that. What we are going to read is
Bedtime story.
No, is MLS's lawyer's fees.
Oh, that's fucking. Yeah, no, yeah, I've seen that. And, talk about Robin.
But his attorney is only $225 per hour. That's pretty cheap. Mine's not.
But look what he's charging.
Well, he put in here what he's charging, but then like he put in here what he's charging, which is one of the things that what he's charging per hour and what he wants and the math that they use to do it is just it bleh. They don't.
I mean, basically calculated it. I'm going to send you it privately. This is how much, if he does get it, this is how much he'll be getting.
Yeah, I know, and we'll read it. I'm just going through and making sure I have all shit covered, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Where he should be getting standby
$225 an hour times whatever.
He should be getting this.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Take that one away. There you go. There.
I'm just making sure I have all the stuff covered.
Yeah, I just sent it to you.
Yeah.
So he's doubling it, over doubling it, which is naughty. Which then opens up the floodgates, thinking, are they in cahoots with each other?
It just makes you wonder, and we're gonna get to it. I promise, guys. I'm just going through and redacting the email addresses and the addresses of the lawyers, because just to not piss off the YouTube overlords,
Mm-hmm. This is the voice of the Mysterons. You will
the math ain't mathin'. Yeah, Nanny, I agree. Like, I am all, I'm not disputing the fact that the judge ruled that he gets attorneys. It's just, it's one of these things that makes people hate attorneys when they say they charge this much and you're expecting this much, but then all of a sudden the plaintiff gets awarded attorney's fee, or the defendant gets awarded attorney's fees, or one party, and the math doesn't math, and all of a sudden it's twice as expensive, or like 1.9 sometimes more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody knows Helm's motion for attorney's fees, blah, blah, blah. April 24th, the court ordered its order directing the clerk to dismiss multiple defendants. And just so in case anybody's listening, it's one case, multiple defendants, but only one case number. Just in case anybody needs a math ain't mathin' refresher. It's not 10 defendants, or 10 cases, it's one case. Uno, just in case you don't speak English.
Nanny Clamper, just a quick one, right? It is 101.1 hours he is charging. So at 225, that would make it 22,747.5.
She was really close to 22. Yeah. I think she just did quick math in her head, in her head. Or
so did I. I didn't use a calculator.
All right. Reasonable attorney's fees. The starting point in the circuit is the lodestar, which is calculated by multiplying the number of hours reasonably expected by a reasonable hourly rate. Okay. Fee applicant bears the burden of establishing an entitlement and documenting the appropriate hours and hourly rate. The court may rely on its own expertise and judgment in determining reasonable fees. I'm not going through all the case law because that just takes time, and nobody really cares about this case law unless you are going to look it up yourself and read it anyway. A reasonable hourly rate is the prevailing market rate in the relevant legal community for a similar service by lawyers of reasonably comparable skills and reputation. The relevant legal community is generally the place where the case is filed. Okay. Argument. Defendants requested hourly rates are reasonable. Christopher Gage, partner, 10 years of experience. Okay, I just have a quick question. The partners in a law firm that I know about, a couple law firms that I know about, don't charge $225 an hour as a partner. If you can get a lawyer who's a partner who charges $225, you either got a shitty lawyer or a really good discount. However, these rates are reasonable and consistent with prevailing market rates in the Northern District of Florida, and for attorneys and legal professionals with similar experience handling litigation matters. Attorney Mark Randazza, who has been practiced for 24 years, has reviewed the undersigned's claimed and rates. Where have I heard Randazza? Where have I heard that name before?
Standby. What was he? Mark
Randazza. I know that name. I know that name. I just don't know where. Oh, he's commented on CNN, InfoWars, and Fox News. That's where. TV. Yeah. He's a TV lawyer. So, okay. just remember this guy is that he got. That's just Jay's lawyer. Like, it's remember when we're talking about this, that this guy has not or is on TV. So just to know how they've might have connected.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've just sent you both links to both lawyers.
Yeah, I know him from TV.
Mm-hmm.
So
You see, people,
we're
that's what I do.
we're gonna get to it because we have stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
So Randazza's declaration is attached here to his Exhibit A. Whew. The hours expended were reasonable and necessary. Counsel reasonably expended a total of 101.8 hours litigating this matter. The undersigned's declaration detailing the tasks performed, time expended, billing rates are attached as Exhibit B. The hours were expended were necessary due to review and analyze plaintiff's allegation and claims, conduct legal research regarding dispositive and procedural issues, draft response and pleadings and motions. And I believe he only did 4. We have to look at the. I'll have to look at the actual. I'll have to look at the actual thing. Ricada.
Yeah, with that
What
it
about-
came up to
what about
$22,900. With
Was-
that one, $22,905 for that 1.18.
So, participate in or prepare a litigate defendant's anti-SLAPP motion. Participate in conferences and communications with the opposing counsel. Review a multitude of videos created by plaintiffs specifically discussing the case and related litigation involving co-defendants. I honestly believe that it took this long. Even though he only filed a couple of motions, 3, 4, I think. Don't quote me on that. I have not done an entire search on the docket for Christopher Gage's motions. However, it's one of those situations where I do think that all the time spent watching videos, that's the problem when you have all those videos. And hey, JK, how are you? That takes time. That's the problem. Discussing the case and related litigated litigation involving co-defendants. Prepare an instant fee motion and supporting materials. Counsel exercise billing judgment and excluded excessive, redundant, or clerical or otherwise unnecessary time entries prior to submission. The resulting lodestar is therefore reasonable. Yeah. I still don't know. I don't know.
Right, here's my question, right?
Don't know.
This is where I get a little bit interested. Right, if you scroll back up, right, it's $225.
Yeah.
Christopher Gage. Now, when you scroll back down, it's 101 hours now at $500.
Yeah, that's the lodestar amount. So that's what he just described what a lodestar amount was. Up here. So the rates, so lodestar,
You just passed it. It's down at the bottom.
No, I know. We're
I know what you mean.
This is like, tell me you weren't paying attention. In determining legal fees or reasonable attorney's fees, starting point in this circuit is the lodestar, which is calculated by multiplying the number of hours reasonably expended by a reasonable hourly rate in the area where they are. So he's from Michigan. So, or wherever he is, I think he's in Michigan too. However, here's the thing. The relevant legal community is generally the place where the case is filed. So it's no matter where he is asking for a hourly rate that is where the case was filed, the Northern District of Florida. So for attorneys practicing in the Northern District of Florida, on average, how much do they make? That's what he's asking for. Not what he charges. So I don't remember. I don't remember. I do remember hearing the name before. So I don't remember where, which is interesting. So this is a reasonable hourly rate is the prevailing market rate in the relevant legal community for similar services by lawyers of reasonably comparable skills, experience, and reputation. He's not asking for how much he charges. He's asking for how much they charge in the Northern District of Florida, the average rate, which is $500 an hour, apparently. That's what he's asking for. I don't know if he'll get that. It's one of the things you can always ask. I don't know if he will actually get that. But like other people have said, you can always ask. So, and then he went into what took so long. The lodestar amount is reasonable. Applying the reasonable hourly rates to the reasonable hours expending yields the following lodestar: 101 hours at $500 an hour. The total requested attorney's fees is therefore $50,550, and that's supposed to be a comma if you're going to be. I hate this. You have a legal education. You were asking for more money because you were smarter than the average bear. However, you can't even. Do you notice some? I see. This is my thing. If you're going to act like you're smarter than me, don't make stupid fucking mistakes. That's where I. Okay. That's okay. JK Films said, yes, Randazzo was Nick Recada's attorney against Monty for defamation. Okay. I knew I had heard the name before. I just could not remember where. Requested fee award is reasonable in light of the complexity of the litigation, the procedural posture of the case, the number of parties involved, and the exceptional result obtained by the defendant. I don't necessarily know if that was exceptional. I'm just gonna say that right away. So, the issues litigated in this matter were neither routine nor ministerial. Rather, the counsel was required to analyze and address complex factual allegations, contested legal theories, and substantial procedural issues arising throughout the course of litigation. This action involved multiple parties. Yes, we know. Counsel was required to evaluate evolving litigation positions, analyze multiple legal theories advanced by opposing parties, and prepare filings addressing complex federal procedural and substantive issues. Yeah. Well, so I see. Okay. I don't necessarily think that the amount of hours is unreasonable, considering he had to read through everybody else's motions too. And when people are papering the court with shit, especially shit that doesn't make a lot of sense. Remember, when he reads a motion, he has to look up all those case laws. So I don't necessarily think that the amount of hours, it might be a little high, but it might be actually reasonable because he has to watch all of the content that his client made. In regards to this, he has to watch all of the content that Jeremy Hale's made naming him, which is, to be honest, is even if if Jeremy only said his name once, he probably had to watch the whole thing to get context. Remember that. So, like, I can see things taking a while. However, I don't know if the $500 is reasonable for watching videos.
No.
That's like, the time might be accurate, but I don't think he should be charging his client just because his client, that to me is legal extortion. Trying to get, yeah, it's like you watched videos and you did 3 or 4 motions. 4, maybe including this one. Like, it's just, the 11th Circuit recognizes the novelty and difficulty of the questions involved, the skill required to perform the legal service properly, and the results obtained are proper considerations in evaluating the reasonableness of a fee award. Most importantly, defendant achieved a complete and favorable result. You did. To be honest, it really wasn't that hard. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I do. How is this attorney so much better than the 6 pro se defendants that got the same result from Belaytho? You bring up a really good point, which is, yeah. Doesn't a lawyer have to provide the court with the receipts he billed the client? This way it doesn't sound like you billed the client anything. Well, we're gonna get to his fees schedule later. Yeah, no way the average attorney rate in Pensacola is $500 an hour. That entire area is not a metropolis by any stretch. Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good point. Good point. I mean, there's a certain lawyer I've heard that charges $1,000 an hour, but he's in Orlando. So, and Malin, thanks for the 20s for Swedish krona. Keep yawning or say, sucka. Oh my god, that makes me laugh every time. Since defendant Helm has achieved a complete success in litigation, there is no basis for any reduction of the requested lodestar. To the contrary, the favorable outcome obtained confirms the reasonableness of the time expended and rates charged by counsel throughout the litigation. I don't know if that, at the end of the day, it was complex. Yeah, it was a lot of time, but you watched YouTube videos. You didn't have to do depositions. You didn't have to. You watched YouTube videos. Also, watch the videos should fall to a junior so that hourly rate is lower. That's a good point. If you're a partner and you're watching YouTube videos, that should fall to an associate, right? Just an issue. So it's a thing. It's a thing. I am correct. Yeah. And that certain attorney that charges $1,000 an hour sounds like a really interesting person to talk to. Not like he's ever going to talk to me, but that would be one hell of a conversation. Therefore, or accordingly, defendant respectfully submits that the court should award the full requested lodestar amount, together with all additional relief the court deems appropriate. Oi. Oi. Yeah, trying to suck as much money as he can out of the case. That's what I'm thinking. This I call it legal extortion. It's potentially appropriate legally, but I think it's just charge your normal hourly rate. Stop trying to. You didn't work that hard. It's not like you had to go to court. If he had to go to court or do depositions or anything like that, I totally would feel different about this. However,
some QCs over here charge £500 an hour.
Yeah, so this is the affidavit of Mark Rendeza. I'm over 18, blah, 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 I don't care. Qualifications, state of Florida, California, Nevada, Massachusetts, and Arizona. I have 24 years of experience as an attorney. I am familiar with the fees that are customarily charged by attorneys, paralegals, and legal assistants nationwide for anti-SLAPP. I've been licensed and actively practicing in Florida since 2003. I'm familiar with attorneys' fees awards in Florida. I hold a JD from Georgetown University Law Center, a master's in mass communications from the University of Florida, and an international degree in the form of an LLM from the University of Turin, Italy, where I wrote and published a thesis on freedom of expression issues. I've taught First Amendment law at the law school level. I'm a member of the First Amendment Lawyers Association, a national association of attorneys who devote significant amount of time in their practice to First Amendment litigation. I'm also past president of the First Amendment Lawyers Association, member of the Anti-SLAPP Committee for Media Law Resource Center. Oh, his CV is attached. Exhibit 1, In my legal career, I've frequently dealt with motions for attorney's fees under anti-SLAPP, familiar with the kind of work. I have particular expertise in the area of defamation, including anti-SLAPP in Florida and other states. I've established a number of important precedents in this field, including Edward Lewis Tobinick, MD versus Novella, which apply to anti-SLAPP analysis with fees. I also have advised a number of states on their implementation of anti-SLAPP statutes, including legislators in Nevada, Tennessee, Ohio, Missouri, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Wyoming. Due to my expertise and reputation, I have appeared on written articles for numerous national news sources, including but not limited to NPR, The New York Times, CNN, Fox News, NBC, and Vegas Inc. I was a columnist for CNN on free speech issues. I was called as a witness before Nevada State Senate Judiciary Committee to testify as a First Amendment law and anti-SLAPP laws. I've actively litigated anti-SLAPP. That should have been the first thing you said. That should see, and this is me when I'm reading someone's affidavit and they're tooting their own horn. I understand you have to put all your qualifications and shit like that, but wouldn't the first thing after your education be I have actively litigated anti-SLAPP cases for the majority of my career? And then put like there I know this is me just like splitting hairs. But if I were to do this with my personality, it would be here's where I went to school. This is the work experience I have. I have the litigation experience, then the state statutes, and then I've been on the news. He kind of puts that he's been in the news and he was a columnist for CNN higher up than I would. Just saying. Like I said, this is splitting hairs. However, it just shows me when someone writes about themselves and what they choose to put first, second, third, how they choose to put things in order, to me shows their personality and where they value things. He values being on the news more than he values being in front of the Senate and testifying on First Amendment issues and anti-SLAPP legislation, which he puts over actually litigating anti-SLAPP issues. Like I said, that's just me splitting hairs. However, when someone talks about themselves, what they put first and second, to me, means they think is what's most important. He values his media presence more than he values actively being a litigator. It makes me, when I see people do that, and then I talk to them or have a conversation with them, it makes me always look at them with a bombastic side eye. Because I know where their priorities are, and our priorities don't match. And Spawn, Spawn, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you understand? Am I just being bitchy when it comes to that, or does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. It does.
Like when I look at someone, when they talk about themselves, like how they list things in the order of importance makes me wonder about their personality. It gives me an insight into how they value things.
Not just that, but I mean, if they put irrelevant stuff at the top of their list, it shows you their overall, how can I put it, care of the situation. So if it's all about money instead of the facts, and if it's all about the facts instead of the money, if it's about the facts then the money, okay, then we're talking. But if it's the money before the facts, it's like if does that make sense? Does that?
Yeah, it just like here, it just is like.
I mean, who cares about your opinion? I mean, or not you. I'm talking about him.
Like I get it.
Who cares about what you've done? Yeah, fine. We know that you've done 24 years. This you've done that. You've done this.
But has he ever? Spawn, look at this comment. But has he ever handled a mac and cheese case? I think not.
Oh, snap. But the thing is, at the end of the day, yeah, once you've got your particulars out of the way, get into the case. explain. Here he's basically trying to make himself look more important than he is.
True. So, materials reviewed, basis for his opinion, second amended complaint, defendant's motion, order granting leave to file a third amended complaint, motion for attorney's fees, and fee summary. Here's the thing. Is some of this money going to go to him for having to do all of this work?
Yes, wouldn't surprise me, because here's the thing. MLS is a lawyer. He's employed a lawyer who's employed another lawyer. So, I mean, wait a minute. Let me hang on. Please hold. Carry on talking. Let me just do a calculation.
All right. The amount sought is reasonable. I'm familiar with the fees that are customarily charged by attorneys and legal assistants in federal courts in Florida. Here, the total sought by Christopher Gage, based on the hours worked and specialized knowledge required in this case, is approximately $20,837.50.
Right. Okay. I've got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got a lawyer employs a lawyer who employs a lawyer. Basically, that if they get $50,550 divided through 3, they'll get $16,850 each.
Yeah.
So if you then take that 16,000, if you take 16,850, right, and then multiply it by 3, takes you back up to 350, and then divide it through 225, right? Basically, they'll be walking away at an hourly rate of $224.66.
Sarasota Beach Bum has a really good comment. If you're really good at something and everyone knows, you don't have to remind them how good you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right, we times that by 101.8 equals.
Regardless of what they're gonna get, let's get through this shit.
Yeah, no, I just want to finish the calculations, right? So basically, if you then take the 224.66 and then multiply that by 101 hours, 101.8 hours will then equal $22,871.06. But carry on.
Well, it says here the total sought by Christopher Gage based on the hours worked and specialized knowledge required in this case is approximately $20,837.50.
Oh, so
in my
I'm a bit
education,
over.
training, legal practice, and teaching, I'm familiar with the decisions in other courts and the market practices and hourly rates for lawyers involved in anti-SLAPP. In addition, my work allowed me to analyze and review substantial amounts of information regarding law firms, rates, and billings. He's familiar with multiple markets across the country. So he talks about the Laffey matrix, which is several courts used as a guidepost in determining the reasonableness of attorney's fees. Mr. Gage's normal hourly rate is $225 an hour. The adjusted Laffey matrix states that the rate for someone with Mr. Gage's 10 years of experience is $902 per hour.
Okay, let's calculate that now. Right? $902 times 101.8 will come to $91,823.60.
Malin, he's in the room with me. He's standing right here. Malin asked if Papa Squid is in chat. And he's like, he's right here. Stick your hand
Papa Squid, Papa Squid, Papa. Oh, that is a dirty hand. Go and wash your hands, sir.
So after looking at the law firm, the shareholders in the law firm that has 65 attorneys in Tampa alone, so large enough to have your own junior or para watch the videos.
I find it very interesting that he's brought a complete different sum to this.
Well,
so they're trying to milk this as much as they can.
So there's one of the attachments is the actual billing summary. So the numbers they're getting in here are so the hourly rate is consistent with that of a specialist frequently handling controversial and notable cases with the same experience in the same areas. Given his special qualifications and notoriety and decisions in other cases, Mr. Gage's hourly rate is shockingly low. In fact, I find it inappropriately low. I would recommend applying a higher rate as the lodestar and not the lower rate that he charitably charges. Funny how that's written.
Mhm.
Yeah, but did he put in the work? Some of the pro se defendants put in more than I think MLS did. Yep. Yeah. hmm Um, I reviewed billing entries detailing the amount of work performed in the filings, the court docket minutes and orders. I've reviewed billing entries and the rates for Mr. Gage and others in his office. I believe them to be reasonable. In light of their experience and specialization, Mr. Gage's billing rate is low. The hourly rates for other attorneys and paralegals at Banker, Lopez, Gassler, PA are also reasonable given their years of experience and type of casework.
This is
So
insane.
he goes into more. In any case, there are occasionally billing entries that I find unnecessary and should be cut. To that extent, 319.25 Gage billed 2.1 hours for initial 2-hour YouTube video review. I do not believe this entry is properly taxed to the plaintiff. This would eliminate 0.6 hours of that time. So he goes to changes. It's like no one get. I understand he has to put it in, but it's just some things just don't make sense. Volusia 1, I'm being told that paralegal work, which is typically drafting motions and responses, is billed substantially lower than attorneys' fees calculated in reviews of paralegal work consulting in court. That makes sense, and tell April thank you for her input. I appreciate her. And Sir Frank, thanks for being a member for 18 months. Also 18 months, sorry I can't be around much. You got to do what you got to do. 3D World comes first. Based on my review and my opinion, I find the level of experience and expertise of Mr. Gage to be high quality, and therefore the hourly rate of $2.25 is shockingly low.
This whole thing just stinks to high heaven. It just stinks to high heaven.
All right. Furthermore, based on my examination of the file and records of the attorney's fees applicant, I have determined that the 101.1 hours expended by the applicant is reasonable and includes an additional time required to be expended in the attending the final hearing. That, okay. So basically, he, based on the foregoing criteria of the opinion that reasonable fee for the services of the applicant prior to a multiplier being considered is $20,680. However, I believe that given Mr. Gage's rate is unreasonably low at $225, it should be compensated at something closer to the Laughing Matrix rate of $902. Accordingly, I would say that the Lodestar hourly rate here should be $500 per hour. Thus, the number of hours times $500 an hour is $50,550.
So all that gibberish just to get back to the same amount. What is wrong with these people?
No, you missed the point.
No. I'm just thinking out loud. You shouldn't have heard that. Fuck.
No, you missed the point. This document, his affidavit, is supporting the motion. So he put it in the motion this much, 50,000. The Lodestar gave his explanation as to why, and then Mark Randazza came and put in his affidavit that said, "Yes, I agree. The $550 or the $500 an hour is an appropriate amount." So it's not all of that just to get back to the same part that Christopher Gage put in his motion.
Oh, okay. I get you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Here's the lawyer said this. Here's my evidence.
Yeah.
Here's my evidence.
I sorry, I zoned out. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
know where your brain was going for a second. Like all of that just to get back to the same amount. It was like, hey, I agree. Here's my affidavit that says
Yeah.
I agree with what Gage said in his motion for attorney's fees.
Hmm. And this, boys and girls, is the reason why I don't read through these documents. Okay.
So this is his CV.
Careful, careful.
No, there's nothing in here.
All
This
right,
is
okay.
his CV. This is everybody who testifies in a court case. Every expert who testifies gives a CV to the court. So this is with their
Shows that I don't
education
know
and
about
legal
it, doesn't it?
practice. It's basically their resume. So clerkships, Supreme Court of Vermont, legal teaching experience, Florida research and teaching fellowship, academic and legal publications. So you can find everything he's written.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When paperwork like this makes your brain scream for help, can I do that out loud or do I have to be quiet?
I just call it buffering or brain melt. And Bunsen Rock and Stone, thanks for remember for 6 months. Been following this craziness since the 2-inch pipe. Yes, it all goes back to Jeremy's damn 2-inch pipe. Men and their 2-inch pipe.
Yeah. 2-inch pipe, baby. Yeah.
That man and his 2-inch pipe.
What about roll out?
He wrote a lot for CNN, so you
Yeah,
can take that with a
CNN
grain
fake.
of salt.
How does Donald Trump say again? Fake news.
It's not even fake at this point. It's just like
Crap.
it's like a tabloid.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just I mean, this may be
Actually,
sound.
all of that to say I'm worth way more than what I charge. Look at me.
Yeah. And one more thing, just very quickly, just for historical reasons. Do you know from 1890 all the way until 1996, do you know that fish and chips used to be handed to you in newspaper? So when you eat
Yeah.
your food, you could read a newspaper.
It sucks up oil really well too.
Yes. That's why your chips got words on it, like guilty and shit.
So he's written a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, good
A
for
lot,
him.
a lot. Key reported cases. Interesting that this is last.
I'll be honest with you, it's a refreshing thing to come across lawyers who act professionally and like lawyers. I'll be honest.
Yeah. I don't like that they are like I don't particularly think I like this person. Like I don't think we'd be friends. However,
Are these all the courts he's worked in, or
yeah.
he's right? So
Admitted to practice Massachusetts, Florida, California, Arizona, Nevada,
right? Okay.
and the federal courts that he's practiced in.
So he likes to have his finger in every pie.
California, DC, Middle District of Florida, Northern District of Florida, Southern District of Florida, Ohio, Massachusetts, both districts in Michigan, Nevada, Texas, Eastern District of Wisconsin. It's just this is one of those situations where even looking at his CV, gives me an insight into his personality that I'm not sure I like. And like I said, this is where
Thank you, Buckshot.
so call me crazy, but when someone lists their qualifications, there is no set in stone way that they have to be listed. So I think people list what is most important to them or what they think is most important. And when that is
Call you crazy.
oh no.
Well, you said call me crazy, so I called you crazy.
Well, yeah, shoe fits. So sorry, Volusia One. I did see the Florida bar thing you sent me, but I'm just now seeing the picture that you had sent me before. Before that, cutie patootie. I mean, gonna be adorable. Court clarifies application of Lodestar Awards. Oh. So I might have to make a separate video on this because we're already 2.5 hours into this. So I might have to make a separate little recorded video on that. But the thank you for sending me that. And Buckshot, thank you for the 5 Squid Pro Quo memberships. I appreciate that. They went to Hoofhearted, Robert Haffey, Robert Walenziak. Oh, I'm mispronouncing this name. And Jan Pierce. And you also got your own gifted membership. I love when that happens. When people gift memberships and they get one themselves. It's awesome. So this just makes me like, when I look at what people post and how they write their CV, it makes me think like they put in what is most important to them, and it's what he wrote. It's his school and his education where he's taught, very important, but speaking engagements and publications and television and radio and guest appearances are before the cases or where you've practiced. That to me is when you are writing an affidavit that says I've practiced all over the country, so I'm familiar with multiple markets and where people charge in multiple markets, but then what courts you've practiced in on your CV are on the last page. Your CV says to me that you're a self-absorbed asshole and the reason people don't like lawyers.
I'm glad you said it because I wanted to, but
like anyone else just tired of the Hale stuff to the point where it's not worth listening anymore. I love how they're blasting it, but it's boring. Yeah, and it does get redundant, which is why I just go with the where I think my brain goes when everything starts to go to mush. My brain goes to the psychology and the way people write things and how people write things. And even people's CVs are written in a way that matters. And this is why when you look at stuff, this is where my brain goes. Like when I see a list of things, people generally put on top what's most important to them. Even when you make a list of groceries, think about when you make a list of groceries, you're putting what is most important to you at the top. Because it's the things that you want people to see first, or you want your spouse to see first, and you want to make sure that they don't forget. So when he puts his, like, I'm never spent this much time going through a CV before, but this is how my brain works and why I'm weird. Like academic and legal publications, but wouldn't you want to put where you've, like, this is just his CV that he copies and pastes to everything. It's not something that's rewritten every time. It's like a resume. However, it's just like after your schooling, wouldn't you want to put, hey, this is where I've practiced, not this is where I've been published?
I don't know.
My brain works weird, people. I'm sorry. This is just how my brain works, and why when I hear people talk, this is how I read people. When they, well, that too. I do tend to group things together, but if you were just making a grocery list, generally you put what's most important on top.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's interesting to me. Broderick v. Gilroy, revenge porn case victory over sociopath who sought to strike information about his acts. Interesting. I mean, he has worked on some interesting cases. It's just when you put the when you put the last page of your CV is where you've practiced. And that's why we get along so well. Just saying.
Mhm.
Just saying. Talking to Anderson Cooper is more important than a federal court. Come on, Squid. Oh yeah, I forgot. My bad. All right. So, declaration of Christopher Gage. I'm duly licensed to practice law in Florida. And he's Helm's attorney. Billing records attached as Exhibit A were made contemporaneously with the work performed and were maintained in ordinary course of business. Oh, I'm not going to go through his whole thing, but the following professional performed work on this matter at the following hourly rates. It's like, come on. Like, he's just repeating once again what he thinks is, hey, this is my, it's become to me, okay, I get why they filed this, but what do they expect to actually come out of it? A waste of big ass fucking time.
Mhm.
They want more money than he charged for because he can. That's not to say that he will get it. I have no idea. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I do not give two flying Fs at the end of the day. What happens? However, it's one of those situations where it's like, did you really? Yeah, that's the going rate for Florida. However, one, if that's the going rate for Florida, why don't you charge that to begin with? I have questions. This is what I do. I just fucking figure out and ask questions. He doesn't charge that much to begin with. And secondly, did you really, there's a difference between charging $500 an hour and actually doing $500 an hour worth of work. For example, if you are having to negotiate with people, if you are having to go out of your way, if you are having to do depositions, if you are having to travel, if you are having to do certain things, if you are dealing with difficult clients, difficult plaintiffs, like I can see, like if you're having to deal with a pro se litigant, I can see charging that much and actually your work being worth that much. But when you charge $225 an hour, if you're worth that much, why don't you charge more?
I think I'm going to take up a new job. I'm going to become a lawyer.
Bar interpretation and an opinion was sent to you. Yeah, I'm going to have to make a separate little video on it. I did get it. However, I don't have time to read it all right now. It's a well, hold on. So, to the extent that respondents and their amicus asked us to eliminate the contingency fee multiplier in all but rare and exceptional cases where attorneys' fees are awarded, and this is not the whole thing. I'm picking and choosing. We declined to adopt the reasoning of the United States Supreme Court. First, the court is not bound in interpreting the state statutes prevailing parties' attorneys' fees and contracts by U.S. Supreme Court precedent interpreting awards of attorneys' fees in federal statutes. Second, with all due deference to the U.S. Supreme Court, we do not accept the rationale rejecting contingency fee multipliers. Justice Scalia wrote for the majority in Burlington v. Dagg in 1992, couched his disapproval of contingency fee multipliers by reasoning that the multipliers incentivize non-meritorious claims so that the claims are effectively raised as often as meritorious claims.
Be right
To the
back.
contrary, contingency fee multiplier provides trial courts with the flexibility to ensure that lawyers who take a difficult case on a contingency fee basis are adequately compensated. We also do not agree that contingency fee multipliers encourage non-meritorious claims and would instead posit that solely because the case is difficult or complicated does not mean the case is non-meritorious. Indeed, without the option of a contingency fee multiplier, those with difficult and complicated cases will likely be unable to find it difficult to obtain counsel willing to represent them. So, Chief Justice Labarga and Justices Fred Lewis and Peggy Quince concurred. I've heard Jorge Labarga before. I think he's in the Southern District of Florida now. Justice Ricky Polson concurred the result. Only Justice Charles Kennedy joined Justice Ellen Lawson and dissented. So it's an interesting experience. Malin. Thank you for the 20 Swedish krona, 2-inch pipe.
I'm back.
Sucka corn. Oof, what a night. Like, hey, Curbless. Thank you for. Sorry I'm so late. I'll be part of the replay group left to like. Yeah, and we have to get going soon because this has been almost 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to get out of here because some of us have to go.
I've already been.
Shush. Gotta go. Everyone wish me luck and hope I don't have to dig some holes.
And plus, I didn't have to pick up body parts today, so that's good.
Well,
No.
there's still time.
No.
There's still time.
No. No.
There's still time.
No. No. No.
There's still time.
No.
All right, guys. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think, yes, I do. In regards of the two different documents, regards to the first one, all he's doing is just, he's deliberately trying to drag it out. He's trying to convince the courts about his ADA. However, at the end of the day, he's going to fail, regardless of how clever he is. Plus the fact that he is not a pro se per se. Sorry for the conundrum
per se?
Per se.
Where's Just Jay when you need him?
Yeah. He's not a pro se per se. He has had he was a former lawyer. He has legal knowledge, and therefore has the understanding of legal doctrine and terminologies. So therefore, he is taking advantage of that position as a pro se. Whereas other people like you, me, or someone who doesn't know about the ins and outs of writing documents would not be. It wouldn't be fair. So hopefully the courts will catch that and do something about that. Other than that, I just think he's an absolute space cadet. Now, to the second one,
SMN finally made it.
Oh, hello, SMN. About bloody time. When it comes to the second one, there's a lot of gibberish and chatter and BS about how much hours and everything else. Unfortunately, you can't prove how long they did sit in front of a video and watch that video, or so you have to take their word for it. Everyone in the world has white lies or definite lies, so you have to take their word for it. And then to swing your man sausage around of where you've been and how much you've done, and then this is your opinion. Yeah, right. But I doubt very much they're going to get that much. There you go. And thank you very much for having me again. Thank you, everyone in chat, for being respectful and communicative and diplomatic. And it was a good stream. I enjoyed it.
It was fun.
Yes.
It was definitely, well, it was something already. But I'm going to see where I can redirect y'all, if there's anybody to redirect y'all to.
And I didn't swear a lot.
Huh?
And I didn't swear a lot.
Well.
Fuck 'em.
I mean, there's always time.
Yeah. Fuck 'em. Prick, dick, shit.
Let's see. I don't see anybody.
Yes, like swinging your sukuk.
Shush.
I'm only repeating what they're saying.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, sometimes I find you funny, but sometimes you can become like a zit that needs to be squeezed. And the correct pronunciation for that material is aluminium.
No, it's not.
It's aluminium.
Do you see another I between N and U?
Go and look at the spelling, the correct English spelling of the word aluminium.
Well, good thing we in England,
Then why are you speaking English?
because unfortunately, we came from y'all.
Then change your language.
Trust me,
Speak-
if I could, I would.
Speak pig Latin.
Anyway, I
Yes.
can't find anywhere to redirect you on this Saturday night, so you go off and do what you want and freeball it on YouTube.
Final thoughts, woman. Final thoughts.
Try your hardest not to be a twat waffle. That
Twat.
includes the people who hate me. That includes the people who love me. Do not be a twat waffle. And he gets mad at the way I say it, but I'm American, so I say it the way I want to, and screw everybody else.
No, you're
Have a blessed
Americanese.
day. Have the day you deserve.
Mhm, mhm,
Bless
mhm,
y'all's
mhm.
hearts.
Yes.
And try
If you
not to
got
be a
one.
twat waffle.